Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. This is going to be really fun. This has been in the works for months and months and months. So you all know the Crosley Cruiser. Ooh, what a terrible thing it's doing for the vinyl community. It's destroying records. It's, teaching people all the wrong things about vinyl. It's wonderful. It's actually a wonderful thing because it is an incredible gateway into the world of vinyl. Yes, even to the venerable Technics 1200s, and they started with a Cruiser. Not everybody, but they start with a Cruiser, and it is a fantastic thing for this hobby. I always, like people say, I will stake my flag on this hill that this is one of the best things for the vinyl community. I think it's because of the Cruiser and like products that we can buy records at Walmart and Target today. So what about a Cruiser? We've reviewed them multiple times. Well, there's an all-new 2023 edition Cruiser. This is actually the fifth generation. I mistakenly said the last one we reviewed was the third. It was actually the fourth generation. My colleague on here, Via Westlife, corrected me. So this is the fifth generation. They have improved the sound quality, allegedly, and they've added some features. So we got to check it out. You're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome to Record-ology.
Okay, this time I went for red. I mean, why not? And, by the outward appearance, it doesn't look that different. There have been changes made. There has been design alterations that should result in better sound quality, which I think will be great. It does have wireless or Bluetooth in and out, which is a feature that people like. I personally am not as huge on the Bluetooth on vinyl thing. I know with, modern codecs, you can get lossless quality over Bluetooth now. Not on, something like this wouldn't realize that level of resolution, but it does exist, and more for convenience sake. And you may wonder, even though I've got higher end turntables and equipment now, do I still use a suitcase player like a Cruiser? And the answer is absolutely yes. You would be surprised how much I do use it. All right, we've got the power supply. Make sure you got the right power supply, because I blew my last one up by plugging in the wrong power supply. So make sure you use the approved power supply. The warranty card is right here, as you can see. Down here is the manual. So there's the manual. It says the CR8005DP Cruiser Plus. And they've been calling the last couple versions at least the Cruiser Plus. I think that titling, that branding was introduced with the fourth generation, the last one. So, okay, so let's go ahead and get it out of the box here and take a closer look. I'm assuming that most folks are going to be interested in the claim that the sound quality has been improved. So, how are we going to test that? Like, how are we going, even if it sounds okay, how are we going to know what it sounds like compared to the one I blew up or the previous versions? Because this is the only Cruiser in the house right now. This is the only one I have. Well, because of the magic of video and recording, I happen to have the video that we did of the original, or not the original, but the previous version of this. And as such, I have the audio test. Now, there are a couple things that need to be taken into consideration with that, because my plan is to do a side-by-side. But we need to take into consideration a couple things. One thing is the acoustics. So the acoustics of this studio that I'm in now are different than where and when I filmed the other video. I can't control that. I'm in a smaller room now. It is echoey-er, and that's why I've got the acoustic panels on the wall, and I need more because it's still a bit echoey in here. And so there is going to be some of that I can't really control. However, I can control the music that we're going to be playing. I'm going to use the exact same record and the exact same song so we can bounce back and forth. The other one was like blue, so it'll be easy to tell which is which in the video. All jokes aside, I really don't get all the hate for these things. I mean, they do not take away anything from higher end record players. I mean, higher end record players, yes, you spend more money, you're going to get a better record player. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination arguing that this is a better record player than something higher end necessarily. But what I'm saying is, for what it is fine and it is good. It does what it's intended to do. And, you know, all the other record players don't disappear just because there's a cheaper entry-level unit on the market. So something to consider. I'm really curious about the new and improved sound. I can already tell by looking. And again, this is just my, you know, uneducated observation. It looks, I can see the surround on that. So the surround on that speaker looks to be more robust. There's a bit of a wobble when it was sitting, and I realized this because it was sitting on the silica packet. Now it's completely flat. Okay, that's good. I was a little worried about the wobble there. Hardware, and again, everybody also says, oh, that's all the same thing. Crosley's making those under assumed names, and they're sneaking them in and all this stuff. And it's just not accurate information. We are going to be doing a show. I have a bunch of suitcase players, and we're going to be doing a show soon showing that the Cruiser is among many designs and styles. Yes, they are very similar to each other, but they are not the same unit. Anyway, the hardware looks as good as it should. We got the corner protects. We've got the rubberized feet. We've got the label down there. I like this rich red color. This looks nice. On the back, we have an aux output, a line output, I should say. This, yeah, you can connect it to another sound system, and it will sound marginally better. It's not going to make it, you know, a super high-end turntable just because you plug it into big speakers, but it will definitely give you better sound. That's on previous versions. Maybe with this new and improved sound, you don't need to connect it to anything. I want to see how that works. Also, we have an aux input, 5-volt power supply, and these butt hinges on the back. These look like a different design. Of course, the vinyl wrap, as always. Time for the big reveal. Yeah, it's going to be a Skywin. I know it is, or something similar. Okay, cool. I like this like black velvety, crushed velvet liner there. That's really cool. I don't know why. It looks like the stencil that they used to spray paint apparently on the logo. They got a little extra there in the corner, but that's okay. Yeah, the mechanism is a familiar Skywin type. I don't know. There's multiple manufacturers of those as well. So I don't know, you know, where these things are sourced from. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, what matters is what we have in front of us and how does it work? How is it designed? How does it perform? This will be a 3-speed belt-driven stereo record player. And again, record player for me means it has built-in speakers, which it does. 45 adapter. I highly recommend upgrading this. This is functional. It'll do the trick, but it just doesn't look as cool as mine.
Have you ordered your official Record-ology 45 adapter yet? Check out the link in the video description below.
Okay, so this particular mechanism is shock mounted. We've got 3 rubber nubs to make perfect contact with the record. You don't need a slip mat for these. You can put them on, but it's just unnecessary for what this is. 3 points of rubber contact is just perfect for any size record that you may want to play. You don't close the lid while these ones are playing. You could probably close it with a 7-inch record or smaller playing, but you know, a 12-inch or even a 10-inch will hang off the edge. I know some people, for whatever reason, that's something that they think about. We are going to have a Chuo-denshi type of cartridge on here. This is going to be a ceramic stereo cartridge. We'll take a look closer at that in a moment. In the meantime, let's look at the gimbal and some of the feature set. I also guarantee that there will be at least one person who says, why do you keep reviewing that same mechanism over and over? Well, the answer is it's an entry-level channel, and these mechanisms are very prominent on entry-level equipment. All right, that's tight for what these are. We do have the lift shelf. It is plastic. There's no rubber on there. We got the little tone arm clip. Cueing lever. Let's see how gentle or not the descend is. It's too slow. A lot of these will do that where it's too slow. I think they pump in a little bit too much goop in the cylinder shaft there. But yeah, that thing is, I could go, you know, walk the dog and come back and that thing would be descending. I mean, it's better than it dropping like a rock. It's better than it dropping like a rock. Also, I'm not a huge fan of when the arms go too far back. Like there should be something to stop it right here. There's a little divot, little indent right there, but it shouldn't go further back than that. There's no need for that. Okay, we have our selector switch, which will choose between phonograph transmit, and Bluetooth receive. We have a pitch control. which is a fantastic feature because if the speed is even a little bit off, you can bring it back in perfectly. It does not have a built-in strobe, but you can print off a strobe disc and just use a light that's at your house. It's not hard to do, so you can lock in speed perfectly. And then obviously we have the volume on-off switch and a headphone jack. And a little bit above that, you will see the auto stop on and off switch and the 3-speed select switch as well. Okay, because this thing has a pitch adjust, there's no point in measuring the speed accuracy because it can be, it can be adjusted. So it's just kind of boring to watch and film. Instead, I'm going to focus on tracking force here. As you can see, it's coming in, and I did push the lift shelf down so it's out of the way. It's coming in at just under 5 grams, and 5 to 6 grams is the range for this cartridge. And that's, close enough to being in range to not be an issue. And I always go into this whole, is it going to damage your records thing? And I've said it so many times, I'm just not going to say it today. A poorly chiseled or cut stylus tip will do more damage than weight. Okay, I'm not going to talk anymore about damage to records because there's so much misinformation out there and we've said it so many times, and I want to go on to something else instead. Okay, here is a look at the cartridge. Again, it's a ceramic cartridge. And it's got the cheap plastic cantilever. I wish they would have put the metal one on. You can upgrade that easy and cheaply, but I wish they would have put the better one on. Reddish hue to the stylus tip. You can see it's obviously a ruby/sapphire. That'll be a lab created gem, and that's fine for about 100 plays or 50 records front and back. But if you upgrade that to the diamond, then you will get like 1,000 plays. So much, much better. But it'll get the job done for now and shouldn't impact sound quality. Those plastic cantilevers, it has a beefy bridge in there, that blue bridge. That's good. But the plastic cantilevers are just not as compliant. So they tend to, they don't follow and track the grooves quite as good because they're attached to the housing with an even smaller piece of plastic instead of a rubber boot. You can see at the base there where it connects, it's just a piece of plastic. The nicer ones will have a rubber pivot or boot, and that's why this is a little less compliant. So it's basically a stiffer movement and it won't track quite as accurately. For something like this though, I mean, you're not going to really hear the difference on these. We've got the same record, the same song queued up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this and we're going to cut back and forth. I'm using the same camera. We're going to use the same mics. We'll be listening ambiently in the room to the speakers. And again, the only thing that's not replicated perfectly are the acoustics of the room, which I wish I could say don't mean that much, but they do, especially a big room to a smaller room. There's going to be some difference in terms of the echo and the ambience and stuff. But overall, I feel like this should give us an A-B comparison that's reasonable. So let's listen together. Can we hear a difference? Okay, I have to say I am pleasantly surprised. I didn't know exactly what to expect. I was hoping there would be a change. There was noticeable warmth added. There was noticeable bass and presence and just oomph in the sound. Also, this was way louder than previous suitcases. I had the volume at about, and again, it's a small room, but I had the volume at 10 o'clock and it was plenty loud. So there is a lot more punch and amplification. So it's not just bigger speakers, you know, better amplification is definitely a huge thing, but the ceramic cartridge is perfectly impedance matched and it does not sound thin. It does not sound hollow and boxy. It is warm and full and rich, which is amazing. It's, you know, I feel like we are now making this unit and these components really sing and really perform the way in which they were designed. So I am pleasantly and happily surprised. I hope it came across on video as much as it did to the naked ear, as it were. Is that a thing, a naked ear? And I just wanted to mention that I'm not going to be reviewing the in and out Bluetooth connectivity because it's kind of boring to do that on YouTube. But basically it allows you to connect your phone to these speakers to listen to or to stream the audio from this device out to your Bluetooth headphones or Bluetooth speakers. So cool features for a lot of folks, but what I'm mostly interested in is its performance as a standalone record player. So yeah, we just did the intro and outro from the studio today because I was just so excited to get into this product and see what it was about. It's very interesting to check it out. As always, I want to know your comments down below and let us know, you know, your questions, your thoughts, etc., etc. You know, this was good for what it was, so I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description. Your purchase, as always, supports the channel. We also have other ways to support Record-ology, including products that we have on our merch shelf, products that we make and sell, which is like our 45 adapters and whatnot. And yeah, you can give super thanks, super chats and stuff, but mostly the most important thing you can give is the time to watch this video, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for spending time with me. But my friends, that is going to do it for today. So have a wonderful evening, a wonderful morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and we will see you next time.